In the world of less lethal guns and ammo, the 12-gauge shotgun is by far the most convenient and cost-effective method for delivering a less lethal payload. And that's because just about every law enforcement agency and correctional facility in the country uses 12-gauge shotguns. These duty shotguns will often double as less lethal launchers by utilizing 12-gauge specific less lethal rounds such as beanbags or rubber bullets. So you have one shotgun that uses two distinctly different rounds of ammo, lethal and less lethal. Most departments have what they call dedicated 12-gauge less lethal shotguns with orange stocks or orange forearm grips. The major problem, however, even with the dedicated shotguns, is they are still capable of firing lethal rounds. This presents a significant risk to both the officer and the person on the other end of the 12-gauge less lethal shotgun, especially when a lethal round accidentally makes its way into the dedicated less lethal shotgun. When this happens, and it does, it's unfortunate for all parties involved. SRM Arms has developed the solution to this problem. It's called the Ringfire less lethal platform. The Ringfire platform utilizes SRM's less lethal ammunition and bolt assembly, which can be used seamlessly in the SRM 1216. The Ringfire platform is designed specifically to eliminate accidental discharges of lethal ammunition in a designated less lethal shotgun. If a lethal 12-gauge round is accidentally placed in a designated less lethal shotgun, which is using the Ringfire system, then the firing pin will not strike the primer and the round will not fire. So now let's take a look at how the Ringfire system works. For this demo, we will show you what happens if out of 3 rounds, one just happens to be a lethal round and it gets accidentally loaded into the magazine. We're going to load 2 Ringfire rounds and 1 standard lethal round into SRM's Ringfire shotgun. For our less lethal rounds, we're using traditional beanbags, and for our lethal rounds, we're using a standard slug. As you saw, the one lethal round that was accidentally loaded into the magazine did not fire, and that's because the firing pin and the Ringfire bolt does not strike the center of the shot shell. Now you might be thinking, that's great, but our department or our agency doesn't use the 1216, so now what? Well, first I would say that you should be using the 1216, but in the event that's not an option for you, then don't worry. SRM has also developed a Ringfire bolt replacement for the most popular shotguns used in the less lethal world, including the Remington 870, Mossberg 500, and even the Benelli 1014. For these shotgun models, all that is required is to swap the existing bolt with SRM's Ringfire bolt and then use Ringfire less lethal ammo. It's just that simple. Now let's see the Ringfire bolt and ammo work in a current law enforcement dedicated less lethal platform. We're going to use a Remington 870 dedicated less lethal shotgun. We're going to use 2 examples, one with an 870 that has the factory bolt and the second that has a Ringfire bolt. For both demonstrations, we'll use 3 shot shells, 2 bags, and 1 lethal round.
Okay.
The SRM less lethal platform will not only protect civilians from tragic and deadly mistakes, but it will also protect the agencies and the officers that are just doing their jobs. To find out more about the SRM Arms Ringfire platform, visit us today at srmarms.com.